all of us, every single man in that room, every single man that was firing those weapons, every single commander that was sitting in an operation room monitoring that operation had been seething with anger. At the manner in which innocent lives were snuffed out.
To me, it was very shocking, and it was also something which gives you that resolve to head back.
Like, I think all citizens of the country, we were actually hit by the brutality of this attack. I think it was most barbaric.
We will go after them. वो जमीन में हो, आसमान में हो, पाताल में हो, जहाँ भी, we will not forgive.
Any act of terror will be considered as an act of war.
If there is an escalation to this particular conflict, so be it.
And then we went into full-fledged war mode, I would say.
Prime Minister told me that we should call it Operation Sindhu.
We were ready and our fingers were on the trigger.
Then nothing stopped us and we were no holds barred. All the officers and guns were full of josh.
The entire nation's hope rested on us.
We will unfold it like a good movie.
So the Prime Minister said, वहाँ से गोली, यहाँ से गोला.
Exclusive partner Rafi and Piper, advanced drone systems designed and built in India.
The Prime Minister said, we will go after them. वो जमीन में हो, आसमान में हो, पाताल में हो, जहाँ भी, we will not forgive.
Time has come, time to deliver. Take a deep breath, have confidence that all preparations you have done is best and nothing more is to be done. And this is the time to prove yourself, prove your capability. And we will unfold it like a good movie as far as this entire delivery of punitive strike is concerned.
I was pretty confident of my own, Air Force's capabilities. The entire nation's hope rested on us. We were to avenge these killings, and it was on our shoulders.
I was part of a strike package wherein we went and struck Muridke. I was given an opportunity which for me, like any other soldier, was a matter of huge pride.
I was part of a package that is going to strike Bahawalpur. Every guy wearing that uniform wants that one opportunity in his life to do something that actually matters.
Once you have done your planning, once you've given your orders, the execution has to be left to the last man. You have to have that faith in him that whatever decisions he will take at that time or she will take will be the right decision.
We returned short of midnight and went for our individual sorties.
The aircraft were already ready, prepared for us. We walked to the aircraft, and that is the time, you actually speak to that aircraft. For the next 2 to 3 hours, that is going to be the place where you will probably come back alive, not come back alive, or probably you're going to change history. Finally, I shut the canopy and I waved off my chalk. The kick that you get when you release the brakes at the takeoff roll, it pushes you back into your seat. So that feeling of you're actually going to take off for a mission that critical is a different feeling altogether. It is akin to carrying that tricolor with you in the cockpit and doing something that not only you or your parents are proud of, but the entire nation is proud of. Me and my team, we descended to ultra low levels. And we had some clouding at medium levels, some clouding at low levels, and we were all flying below the clouds.
When it was just 5 minutes to go, we were quite concentrated and very focused. I had 2 phones in my ears, one connected to GOC 15 core, other connected to GOC 16 core.
The time I mentioned 0105, that's the time when people had to go. There is a procedure in the army where we synchronize our watches. Those watches had been synchronized across all commands. So everybody had the same time on their systems. At 0105, no orders were required. And like clockwork precision, the commencement of Operation Sindoor started at 0105.
My boys sprung into action and our guns started thundering onto the targets.
And nothing stopped us and we were no holds barred.
We had multiple aerial assets launching from the same location and brought onto the target in time and altitude as per the plan.
Number of loiter ammunitions were fired and we were counting it, we were coordinating it at a particular cycle.
We hit them exactly where we wanted to hit.
I could hear TGMO saying first hit, second hit, third hit, fourth hit, and everything he was just saying as if it was going like a clock precision.
Sitting in that ops room, we were all very aware that we will execute it. We will execute these missions with full safety to our people, that we will bring back each and every aircraft and each and every pilot. So there was that rush and there was this excitement.
We've engaged into our final attack mode and we've continued towards our target of Bahawalpur. That is the time I've pressed the trigger and I saw the ammunition flying into the air. Alongside my ammunition, there were other ammunitions that were going towards Bahawalpur.
That is the time when we activated, and then we went into full-fledged war mode, I would say.
We had kept a code word wherein if you've done a successful strike, you'll say that code word. You actually heard code words of everyone. So the moment you hear everyone's code word, you know that everyone's struck Pakistan successfully.
So having struck the targets the way we were intending to, we were pretty confident that we have achieved our objectives.
It was the first time actually we hit targets like Bawalpur, which was quite deep inside. We have done it very successfully, provided evidence of our capabilities.
So when I got this confirmation that all missions have gone as planned, that was a good feeling in terms of having 100% mission success.
That's possibly one of my most satisfying professional moments, because every single target was hit through the roof. That was the precision that was achieved.
It was a huge emotion which was there, a sense of satisfaction. For that very fraction, it was there in my heart and in my feeling.
After this successful strike, we had achieved our politico-military aim.
Once we achieved that aim, obviously there was satisfaction amongst all of us that we have done what we wanted.
Once we hit them, there was a sense of justice for the nation and the families of the terror victims.
We had decided the objective of the operation as destruction of the enemy camps, particularly those who had been responsible for the Pahalgam attack. That has been achieved. We had the intention of conveying a message to the terrorists and to their mentors, even if it is anywhere in Pakistan, if the terrorists are hiding there or finding shelter there, we will hit them. We wanted Pakistan Army to realize that this support to terrorism or inability to take effective action against the terrorists is something which is not tolerable to us.
I quickly came outside. I gave a call to Harsh and told him to tweet it.
As I was about to upload the tweet, I realized that I would be the first person to announce it to the world.
Actually, we had tears in our eyes when we saw that. And it meant more to me because I had received the call from Himanshi that day. You cannot bring those 26 people back. It is, those lives cannot be, the same again. There are, deep scars that it will carry.
Suddenly, from watching history in action, I realized the enormity of the task that lay ahead. The troops on the ground had done their job. Now, the responsibility lay on us to be able to showcase it to the world. The moment I got to my office, I wanted to check as to how the world was reacting. I could see the comments coming from all across that the Indian Army tweeting "Justice is served" means somebody's nightmare is going to come true in Pakistan.
By the time the first bombs went, within 15 minutes or so, we could see aircraft getting airborne from the other side. And they were painting on our radars.
After hitting Muridke, we had retaliation from the adversary side. We have different counter measuring systems. They were deployed. And we have other beyond visual range tactics that are carried out.
I would say that they were too slow to react.
And all aircrafts had, returned after the mission successfully.
Very soon, not only our live feeds, which we captured as these vectors hit the targets, but even our sources across started sending videos from the vicinity of these targets.
Pakistani social media and Pakistani people actually acted as a source for battle damage assessment.
People were filming it and they were running away, or they were talking very loudly about "Wahan maar diya, ye kar diya." Somebody saying "Markaz ko maar diya." All those bites or sounds you could hear. Pakistan always gets away with murder lightly. Has been my stand, and it needed to be sent a message which was stronger than ever before.
Our initial assessment was that we'd killed more than 100 terrorists. At least 6 to 10 of them were high value targets which we'd been wanting to eliminate for a while.
We have got a zero tolerance for that. ये कोई कबड्डी का खेल नहीं है. That this is the line. If you cross that, you are safe. You are not safe. Wherever you are, and whatever time it takes, and whatever sacrifice and risk it takes, we will take revenge.
Maybe half an hour after the targets had been completely engaged, we thought it prudent that we'll inform the Pakistan DGMO that we've engaged these targets. Because we've had an incident, we've hit the perpetrators of terror. This is our concept and this is our rationale. Should we want to discuss this, we were open to doing that. We got a message back from him saying that this communication should have been done before we engaged the targets. And now the DGMOs will only speak once the Pakistanis have responded.
So we knew that things are not yet over, and we were prepared, we were ready to take on anything, whatever comes from their side.
There was no time for me to absorb that this is what entire command has been able to achieve. We had already switched into dealing with the next situation, and which was going to be very intense.
We were ready and our fingers were on the trigger. The moment they started on the line of control, we went at them hammer and tongs.
Everywhere, all across, entire LC, right from Tanghar, Kupwara, Udi, Rampur sector, Poonch sector, Mendar, Rajouri, right up to Sundarbani sector, the entire LC was activated. And I really wanted each and every one of us, every soldier of mine, for one shot coming from Pakistan, give him at least 5 back. For every sector, we were delivering the fire in a manner it was planned. Each and every firing of my gun is delivering a punitive assault Now is the time the people who have supported the terror, they are the ones who have to be targeted. And with that kind of a planning, we just took off.
There was a duel happening on the line of control. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Within the next 15-20 minutes, I think there were at least 40 to 50 aircrafts there on both sides.
We were holding guard in the air, making sure that none of their aircraft would come this side, even come to the range where they could drop a weapon, remaining on their side.
And of course, we had launched certain number of surface-to-air long-range weapon systems, which we are sure caused some losses on the other side. I think they didn't want to come any closer, and they decided after a couple of hours that we will keep our aircrafts down.
Whilst all this was happening, the maritime domain was not sitting idle. We were putting a lot of pressure. We had ensured that no Pakistani military surveillance plane came anywhere near close to this carrier battle group, because they knew that if they come, our integral air launched from the aircraft carrier will take them down. The presence of carrier battle group ensured that the Pakistani forces remained either in their harbors or very close to their coast.
All this while, we only had a couple of hours to collate the entire evidence and put it out for the world to see. A press conference was going to be held early next morning. One by one, we started going through the entire data from each feed. We were running against time. Speed was of essence, but so was accuracy, because the credibility of India was at stake.
The joint press briefing on the 7th by our Foreign Secretary, Vikram Mishri.
Earlier this morning, as you would be aware, India exercised its right to respond and preempt as well as deter more such cross-border attacks.
From the armed forces, we were represented by 2 women officers, and they conveyed 2 important messages: that the women of India will not be deterred by this cowardly kind of attacks, and the social and emotional fabric of India will remain unaffected even by such kind of challenges.
On the morning of 7th and 8th May, the Pakistanis conducted funerals of some of the terrorist leaders. The Pakistani senior military leadership also attended those funerals. So India said, look, here is the proof. And the Pakistani state and the army is protecting the terrorist leadership.
As the midnight approached, the next 2 to 3 hours was grueling battle. The artillery opened, the mortars opened, the infantry posts opened. Every life has a purpose. And what more beautiful purpose can be when you are standing there to deliver the response of the nation. We have earmarked certain posts, enemy posts for punitive punishments. And I told the brigade commanders, take one EPPP target, one by one, begin sorting them out. The procedure is so punitive that the enemy post is degraded good about 40 to 50%. After that, it cannot stand up.
Because the pressure on Pak post was so heavy that in order to relieve the pressure, he had to resort to targeting my civilians. Targeting the religious infrastructure. Almost 500 villages all along the LC were getting targeted.
They hit gurudwaras, temples. So it was really sad that when we hit terror, they hit civilians. So you can well imagine as to what are the ethics that this army or this country follows.
I really wanted to get that pressure off my civilians. I thereafter switched my plan in a manner that all these guns which are targeting the civil population had to be silenced.
I used to have my weapon locating radar absolutely ready. I used to be hunting for these locations from where he fired onto my gun position. They were ready and loaded. So before they could shoot and scoot, these guns, they used to fire on those guns. And we have caused immense casualties to the Pakistanis at their own gun positions.
When you are firing on the LC, you are like communicating through fire. Is he feeling the pressure or is not feeling the pressure? You come to know through the intensity of fire. Sure enough, within few hours, we were able to control this fire, and he had to roll back his firing.
Once anything starts, we are willing to go as far as it is necessary for a nation to preserve its sovereignty, and there is no limits on that. We fight till the last drop of the blood.
While the duels on the line of control continued, the Pakistanis then also started flying drones into Indian territory.
Till 7th May, they had approximately 30 flights coming from two countries which supported them openly. They were carrying the drones and Yeeha class of heavy drones which they used against us. We were prepared for it.
We eliminated everything that they threw at us. You know the famous cliche, Dil Mange More. I think the air defense gunners were waiting for.
their impact of drones was more of a nuisance value. Many of their kamikaze drones were even taken on by our SAGW systems.
We launched some specialized UAVs which were basically targeting their radar and SAM systems. These were the ones which took out many of the radars and the weapon systems. Pasrood, Chunian, there was Lahore, Nayachor in the southwest, and many such places near Karachi, Malir, Kant. So these were the places where certain number of radar systems were there, and we had targeted them.
It is the air defense systems of the Indian Army and the Indian Air Force that worked together and in sync.
Ninth evening, the US Vice President J.D. Vance called Prime Minister Modi. He said that we have got information and intelligence that Pakistan is going to launch a massive attack on India tonight. So the Prime Minister said, please tell them that our attack would be thrice the intensity of their attack. Wahan se goli, yahan se gola.
We were informed that Pakistan is planning to launch an operation so-called Bunyan al-Marsus to teach India a lesson. And that operation is going to last for about 48 hours.
I am not given to being very impressed by either names that the Pakistan Army may give to their operations or the dramatic manner in which they do that.
Rhetorics in war, we don't take much. In any conflict situation, these brave words are said with a certain objective in mind, that is to convince your own people to keep the brave face. You make these very high-sounding statements and others.
We had red-teamed and war-gamed various levels, and therefore we were prepared at all times for it to continue to escalate even to a full-blown war.
From about around midnight, they started launching aircraft, and they, launched strikes from various places, from Srinagar down to Bhuj. Various places we had reports of long-range weapons being fired.
Though they sent a lot of missiles, neither their intelligence was right, they were far away from the intended targets.
Only one odd missile fell anywhere close to where it caused damage. One was at Udhampur, where it hit one of our hospitals at the base.
At about 1:30 or 1:45, one high-speed missile was launched by Pakistan, aimed at Delhi, which was intercepted at Sirsa in Haryana. That was the signal for India to launch its final retaliatory attack.
This is the time I had given the orders to move all my long-range vectors and also the operation reserves to their places.
It was decided that India will not bow down to such kind of threats. We are going to respond heavily onto Pakistan. And if there is even escalation to this particular conflict, so be it.
And this time, the full responsibility was given to the Air Force to launch the BrahMos cruise missiles in 4 different waves.
BrahMos is one of those which has a very high speed of attack. The chances of it getting intercepted are less. The kind of damage it creates is much more than any other smaller speed weapon. And the best part was it's a homegrown weapon, designed and developed in India weapon.
they had selected 11 Pakistani airfields for the attacks.
So we took a decision that this is the time we need to now enhance and up the ante. So that night, that is 10th early morning, before they could strike, we have struck their major airfields, radar sites, command and control centers.
So we took out Rafiqi, Sakar, Rahim Yar Khan, and of course the Noor Khan Air Base.
नूर खान बेस में आगे गिरा है, अटैक हुआ है नूर खान बेस पे.
And subsequently in the second wave we launched strikes against the main bases. Sargodha, Bolari and Jacobabad, and caused substantial damage to all the three places.
There was a lot of damage that was caused to the runways, to the hangar, and to the aircraft that were parked on the ground.
The intent was to keep it calibrated, to keep it measured, and drive home a message that look, we can hit you at will and you have no answer to it.
We engaged him on a front of almost 1200 kilometers, almost 200 kilometers deep inside his territory. Things were really happening the way we wanted them to happen. Whatever we were touching was turning gold. All our weapons were reaching the correct place.
On the morning of 10th, after the second wave of attack, probably they got the message that things are getting more serious, and they had no response to the kind of targeting that we are doing.
I think Pakistanis realized, based on their information network which has been provided to them by various countries,
that there could be a strike from sea, which will be very damaging.
so when they realized now Navy is also going to attack and BrahMos have also been lined up along with the artillery, they knew now next night is going to be a very dangerous one, along with the Air Force, what it already done.
By 8 o'clock in the morning on 10th, the Pakistanis were desperately trying to reach the Indian establishment, and Asim Munir was trying to reach Marco Rubio, who in turn called External Affairs Minister at 10 in the morning apparently, saying the Pakistanis want to stop, they want to have a ceasefire. So Jaishankar's message was that we will not accept any mediation from anyone. So the message given to Marco Rubio was that please ask the Pakistani DGMO, the Director General Military Operations, to call Indian DGMO, which is the only acceptable channel of communication.
Approximately at about 9 o'clock or thereabouts in the morning, I got a message from the Pakistan DGMO. The message said that the Pakistan DGMO wanted to communicate with me, his Indian counterpart. And eventually it was decided that we would speak to them at some time during the day, maybe 2 hours after we received the message. I got a call from the Ministry of External Affairs informing us that the Pakistanis were frantically trying to call, but nobody's answering. Murphy's Law also played a role. That there was a little snag in the hotline. We got the line rectified. That maybe took an hour or so. And by then, we'd taken the decision that there was no harm in hearing what the Pakistan DGM had to say. And I eventually spoke to him at 3:30 in the afternoon. Usually, the person that asks for the call is the one that speaks first. So, General Qasif Abdullah, the Pakistan DGMO, started as per that tradition. He referred to me as sir because the seniority is well established. But it didn't take him much time to cut straight to the fact that they wanted a ceasefire. In fact, he suggested to me that, sir, having hit so many BrahMos missiles at us, you should now be satisfied and we can bring this to a stop.
So once they asked and they repeatedly asked us, that is, bahut ho gaya, aapne bahut damage kar diya, ceasefire kar dijiye. We conceded to their request. We were also very clear. That is, we don't have to linger at all.
We spoke at 3:30 and the conversation must have lasted a little less than half an hour. And we both agreed that starting 5:30 in the evening, we would cease hostilities.
It was agreed between them that both sides would stop all firing and military action on land and in the air and sea.
Well, it's an uneasy cessation of hostilities. I don't refer to it as ceasefire at all. And until and unless we get a complete assurance that there is no support or perpetration of terror acts from across the line of control or the international boundary, which we can clearly attribute to Pakistan, Operation Sindoor will continue.
Message to the world is very clear. India's generosity or India's being more tolerant should not be mistaken for its weakness. India can take risks, India can hit hard, irrespective of the consequences.
ऑपरेशन सिंदूर ने आतंक के खिलाफ लड़ाई में एक नई लकीर खींच दी, न्यू नॉर्मल तय कर दिया है। पहला, भारत पर आतंकी हमला हुआ तो मुंह तोड़ जवाब दिया जाएगा। हर उस जगह जाकर कठोर कार्रवाई करेंगे जहां से आतंक की जड़ें निकलती हैं। दूसरा, कोई भी न्यूक्लियर ब्लैकमेल भारत नहीं सहेगा। तीसरा, हम आतंक की सरपरस्त सरकार और आतंक के आकाओं को अलग अलग नहीं देखेंगे।
At the strategic level, I think when to stop a conflict is equally important. It's easy to start a war. It's very difficult to stop it.
When the ceasefire was announced, for me and for all of us, there was a sense of achievement. Each and every sailor, each and every airman, and each and every soldier, they work with huge commitment. We are ready to sacrifice, go to any level to protect our people.
It is the youngsters in the field who have really done the job.
A large number of Indian operations room have one saying plastered in the center everywhere. It says, "War in my time." And it was war then in my time. I never understood the gravity of what those words mean.
I only want to assure our countrymen that the Indian Army, the Indian Armed Forces, we will always be there, for the nation and when it needs us.
No conflict in future will be the one like the past one. We need to prepare for it.
This is the new normal. A notice to sail should be construed as notice to combat.
We are a peace-loving country. We would like to live and let live. But if Pakistan carries out any terror attack of this kind, I can assure that Pakistan will have to pay twice what they have paid this time.
The kind of beating they got during Op Sindoor, I think they'll remember it for a long time. It was just a trailer.
When the Prime Minister says that the Operation Sindoor is alive, his intention is the fight against terror will only be over till the last terrorist is eliminated.